How's it going, everybody? Thank each and every single one of you for coming. I'm so glad each and every one of you can make it. Today's video is going to be about what one of my wonderful subscribers sent me. They started the process of figuring out what's going on with the speakers in my 1993 Z28 Camaro. So let's get to it. Now this is just the first step. It's going to be in a couple of videos. That way the video's not too long. I will try to remember to put in a clip showing what the speakers sound like on this one and the next one, and however many it takes. That way you know what we're up against in case you miss one part or two parts and you're just now joining in. But what was going on was I'm getting, out of one speaker on the passenger side, I'm getting a staticky sound. Hear it.
Electric guitar, worth it. That big screen TV and that espresso machine.
Out of the speaker on my left, the driver's side, I used to get a little bit of static, just ever so slightly, but now it cuts in and out. And now this speaker's not even working. All I'm getting is a little bit of static. And in my rear speaker, the factory subwoofer, I'm actually getting a popping or a clicking sound in it. So I posted a video saying that I was having issues on it and I was going to try to figure out what's going on and everything. And a wonderful channel subscriber, a new channel subscriber too, to beat it all, said, hey, I have a 93 Camaro just like yours. I took the factory speakers out. I'll send you my factory speakers. And I had to explain to him that I recently lost my job due to COVID, which technically I didn't lose it. I'm laid off. But I'm going to go ahead and start looking for a new one. And that way, if I run out of unemployment before they call me back, or if I find something closer where I can go ahead and make the change or whatever. But anyhow, he said, don't worry about the price. Don't worry about shipping charges or any of that. He said, here's you an early Christmas gift. And I tell you, you see what goes on the news on a daily basis and everything. And with us being confined at home, we're not really confined at home, but everybody's stuck at home to a certain level. You don't get to communicate with people like you normally do and everything. And if you just watch the news, it's a very, very bad world out there right now. But no, it's not. I'm here to tell you. He sent me these, no charge, and said, here's your early Christmas gift. Who does that? Going by what the news tells you. But yeah, he sent me to these at no charge, said, don't worry about it. I know you're having a hard time right now. Here's your early Christmas gift. And I thought that was just so nice. So with all that said, I'm going to show you what it is. And like I said, it's just the factory speakers out of his. Cooper's helping today. Out of his 1993 Camaro. As you can see, they look like brand freaking new, right? Mine happens to be the Bose factory sound system, and I think later on they switched over to the Monsoon. And the Bose system has individual amplifiers for each speaker. It's a low wattage system. I think it's 2 ohms. I forgot the actual watts. Hey Cooper, he loves paper. Here, gonna be in the video today? But anyhow, it's a low 2 ohms or 2 watts. I forgot which 2 ohms system. So you don't want to just hook it up to your factory, to any radio, and throw the power to it, because instantly you're going to blow it. Yeah, it might work for a second or two, but it's going to blow it. It's too much power. So they have their own setup, their own system, and I love the way they sound. No other speaker sounds like a Bose system. And there is a way to test these. And why am I mentioning testing them? Well, there's 2 issues that my car could be having. 2 issues that it could be having. Well, really there's more than that, but as far as the speakers are concerned, there's 2 issues I could be having. I could be having a voice coil going bad in it, right? Or the amplifier itself could be going bad, because I pulled off the covers, and you can look and see that the speakers are not busted, but the voice coil, which is actually in there, could be bad. It's just a winding, the electrical impulse goes through it, and the way we talk and everything, it creates a different pulse, different signal, and that's what creates the sounds coming out. Short terminology or short description. It's much more complicated than that, but you get the gist. So there's a way to test it. I can't test the amps until I put it in, and I'll know if they're working when the speaker power's up, unless I find a way between now and then. If I find a way between now and then to actually test the amplifiers, I'll let you know. But there's two ways you can test it. One is by using a digital, well, you can use a regular battery operated ohm meter, right? Or a 9-volt battery. I'm not going to be using the 9-volt battery method, but I'll show you how to do it. And all you do on these particular Bose systems, they have the terminals, one on each side. But on a regular one, they're right there together. So all you do is take the 9-volt battery. It doesn't matter which way you have it oriented or polarity wise, and you just touch the two terminals together. And what it will do, if the voice coil is still good, it will actually pop. It'll make a pop, pop, pop sound, and the speaker will either go in or out, depending on, you know, which way you have the battery oriented and everything. But you just stick it on there and it'll pop, and you can physically see the speaker pop in and out, and you can physically feel it. So the other way, like I said, is with the digital ohm meter. So let's get into the table and I'll show you how to check it. So by now you're probably wondering, why am I checking something that somebody sent me? Well, there's two reasons for that. The first one is, of course, to make this video to show you, the viewer, the subscriber, or anybody looking to find out about this knowledge, how to do it. And number two, I don't know how long these have been sitting. I don't know if they were actually working when the guy took them out. He said they was. And I definitely am giving him benefit of the doubt. But still, before you just take the car apart, because, you know, this isn't as simple as removing the grill on the car and, you know, out of the door panel, taking a few screws out and then putting the speaker in. These speakers are much more involved than that, because I have to remove the lock mechanism. I have to remove the door panel, and then I can take it out. And then there's a bracket in there where the speaker and the amplifier are mounted, so it's basically a all-in-one system. So I don't want to go through all that trouble to take it apart and then put these in, put it back together, and be installing something that's bad. So it's kind of like the old woodworkers rule: measure twice, cut once. So I'm going to check the speakers, and then we will go from there once we get out to the car. If I feel when I take the speakers out, I can check the voice coils. If the voice coils are bad on those speakers, I can swap the speakers out. Or if for some reason the voice coils and everything check out on the other speakers, I can swap out the amps. Or I can just say, screw it, I've got everything, let's just go ahead and swap everything and be done with it. So, you know, there's many options whenever you go into something like this. But here we go. Set this right in the middle so hopefully you can see it. Alright, move this one out of the way so you can see the numbers. This is an auto ranging, right? Which means it puts the decimal point in the correct place. And if you touch it together, you can see that it's working, right? That's how you read ohms, or you can read continuity. Right? We're not looking for continuity, we're looking for ohms, not microfarads. There we go. We're looking for resistance. Each speaker has its own resistance range. Typically, your car speakers are going to be 4 ohms. Your house speakers are going to be 8 ohms. Typically, not always, but typically, that's the way it works. When you get up into your higher range, more powerful stuff that requires bigger cables and all that stuff, like your heavy-duty, hard-hitting subwoofers or your really expensive car speakers, then you can get up into the 6 and the 8 ohm range. But typically, your car speakers are going to be at 4 ohms. Like I said, these being a Bose, they're 2. So what we're looking for on a 2 ohm system is somewhere 1 ohm or greater. And with a 4 ohm system, you're looking for 2 ohms or greater. Or with house speakers, you're looking for 8 ohms, which means you're looking for 5 ohms or better. So let's see what we have. And polarity does not matter. You can touch either or, right? Try to keep my hands out of the way so you can see. And I've got 1.3, 1.2, somewhere around 1.3. So these are good. That's showing that this speaker is good as far as the ohm rating. So let's push it over to the side and bring in the other one. Now to tell if it's a bad speaker, it will show 0, which is an infinity reading or an infinite reading, which is signifying a short, or it'll be just some crazy astronomical number outside of the range. Like I said, these being 2 ohms, if it was bad, it could show 5 ohms and up, or all zeros. So let's see what this one says, or reads. And this one is also 1.2, 1.3. So these are definitely within the specifications. But that's all you have to do to check that part. Now what's so cool, and I don't think I can get it to show up. It's actually harder to see on that one. There is a label, as you can see, yellow sticker, and I don't think it'll show up. I'm gonna try to get it to, but I just don't think it will. It actually has 0293, so that's February of 1993 when these speakers were labeled. Now does that mean that that's when it was put in? Does that mean that that's when it was manufactured? I don't know. So it's a 0293, which is very cool. I've got a date of when these were at least manufactured or put in the car. And like I said, the guy was so cool, he sent me the head unit. You can actually look back at my mealtime video, or I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and put it up there so you can see it. But he sent me the head unit, which has the factory CD player in it, which mine had a cassette player. So if I ever want to swap out what I have, I can actually put a factory CD player back in it. But he also sent me the amps to it, each speaker. That is so cool. It's got all the factory connectors, right? Nothing has been stripped, nothing's been cut. The factory amp is inside this box, and I'm not going to open it up right now because I don't want to mess anything up, and I sure don't want to drop anything out of it or anything. I don't know exactly, you know, I haven't opened one of these up is what I'm trying to say, so I'm not going to because I don't want to mess anything up. But as you can clearly see, Bose, made in the United States of America right there. That is so cool. But I can't say enough. I will put his channel name and everything in the video as well as in the description, because like I said, it's very hard coming across somebody that is willing to reach out to you. I didn't ask for it, he offered it, which makes it so dang cool. But there you go, there's part 1. We have checked the new speakers that I have gotten from a more than generous fellow YouTuber, which I really appreciate. We've got those checked, so we now know that the voice coils are good. So we can now move on to the next step, which is taking the speakers out of the car, which is sitting out there. It's been raining all morning. As you can see, the ground's wet, the steps are wet, and it's been very, very gray, bluish looking. But yeah, we got the chicken coop decorated. We got a tree out there with lights on it, and we got lights going all the way around the chicken coop, the roof of it. But anyhow, next step, next video as far as the black car will be concerned is taking the door panels off. I'll show you how to do that. There's many other guys out there that have videos on it, but I'm going to do it on mine also, just so you know, you might not be watching everybody else's videos. You might just stumble across this somehow or whatever, so I'm going to be showing you how to do that. Another good YouTuber who just recently worked on his stereo system, his channel name is Chemical Spore. He shows how to actually modify speakers, the mid-range, high-range, all that stuff, you know, to make non-factory speakers work with factory wiring and all that. That way you can use your factory wiring harness and hook it up to the new speakers. But he's got in detail how to remove door panels also, covering his speakers. But I'm going to put it in mine again. But that's the next step. We now have these speakers figured out, that these are actually good speakers, which I had no doubt to start with, but I wanted to show you how to test them again, and we will go from there. And I'm sorry I'm talking so fast, but I really don't want to make these videos long. I want to try to shorten them up a little bit, but there's so much information in my mind the way it works. You know, I got so much I want to try to put in only limited time. So with that said, we'll see you in the next video. I thank each and every one of you for stopping by. Maybe this will help. You know, if you figure out if you got a home stereo, all the speakers work the same. All you got to do is figure out what ohm range it is. Like I said, most of your car speakers will be 4 ohms. Your regular car speakers will be 4 ohms. The higher end stuff that requires more power will be 6 ohms typically. Very rarely will they be 8 ohms, but there are some out there that are 8 ohms. Most of your house stereo equipment will be 8 ohms. I have seen some 10. There's always the exception to the rule, but that's in general. It doesn't matter which one you have, just look on the back of the speaker. Most of the time it's printed on there. 200W, which is its maximum range, 200 watts, 600 watts, 100 watts, whatever, 25 watts. That's the power rating of the speaker that it can handle without blowing it or risking damage to it. And then it will always have a number. With a car speaker like a 4, house speaker like an 8, with a little symbol that looks like an upside down horseshoe. And that's how you know. You just throw an ohm meter to it and you can tell. Or like I said, take a speaker and touch a 9-volt battery to it. 9 volts is so low it's not going to hurt anything. Just touch it to it, it'll pop it out, and just let off of it or go back in. Super simple. But until then, I hope you enjoyed your time. I hope you enjoy your day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to stay out of that temperature out there because it's like 32, and here it is 4:30 in the evening. But with that said, enjoy your day. Thank you for stopping by. Enjoy your cars, because even though I'm stuck inside, I'm enjoying showing you how to do this. I'm actually enjoying doing it myself. And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for stopping by.